Okay, so let's move into the next question. I'm really curious because they say that finding investors and moving in this venture space is a lot like courting people for marriage. You have to kind of think about bringing an investor onto your cap table like marrying someone. So can you tell me some of the parallels that you've seen between dating and finding investors?
I can 100% say that like courting the capital is very much a matchmaking game, right? Like finding the right match for your business. And if you think about your business as having all these characteristics from, you know, your industry to what stage your business is in, to what your team looks like and what expertise, whether or not you have revenue or don't have revenue, right? Like those are all similar to like your personal characteristics of like height, ethnicity, you know, gender, right?
How much you make.
How much you make, right?
Yeah.
And so those have to be appropriately paired with a mate, right? That's looking for those qualities, right? So when you go over to the VC or institutional capital world, you're looking for someone who's looking for a company that is in your stage, looking for a company that's in your industry, looking for a company that has a team that's like yours, looking for a company that understands your growth strategy and where you're going to be going in the next 3 to 5 years. But not just that, you're looking for an investor that has expertise, that has, you know, potential to do follow-on investment.
That's right.
That has access to mentorship and other connections that can be made that are outside of finances, right? So it 100% is a relationship and a marriage, depending on how long you plan on, you know, having them, you know, as an investor in your cap table. And so all of these things have to like, you know, magically link up, similar to in a relationship, in order for something to be created that's going to be meaningful, in order for those exchange of values to really happen. But when it does, it's such a beautiful thing. But just like dating, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of patience, it takes kissing a lot of frogs, and I would call those meetings and pitches to find the right type of investor for you and for what you're building. But when you do, and you have someone on board that's like-minded, that's really behind your mission and your goals, and it's not just all about the numbers for them, I think a beautiful thing can come out of that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think that's spot on, especially the values piece, right? You have to find investors who are incented the way you are incented, right? It's not everybody thinks of VC, everybody thinks of venture. There are a million ways to raise money. There are lots of people who have lots of different kind of motivations. Okay, so next question. I wanted to ask, so much of dating in the real world is about kind of weeding out and finding the people who are for you. So, for example, if you happen to be really religious, there's a strong likelihood if you're going to church every day, you're going to find people with the same values. If you are an academic, you're likely to be in school, you're more likely to find your spouse there. So what in the world are we supposed to do in this virtual world, in this, you know, COVID world? How do we weed out, even if we are on a dating app, it's usually kind of a large funnel. How do we weed out and find those spaces that are tailored for us?
Yeah, it really is about being tailor-made, right? Because people think, oh, well, I'm on this app or that app, but a lot of these apps and services don't do anything for you besides provide you access to a lot of people, right? But we know that a lot of times quantity is not as good as quality, right? So it actually can be a detriment to have access to 1 million people, right? And then you're charged with sifting through them and weeding through them. And not just that, that's a very time consuming and expensive process, especially if you're actually going on dates or investing time. So I agree with you 100%. It's about finding, like, what we call go niche, right? Like go to where the people who want people like you are the most likely to be, right? So there's a dating app for farmers. Why? If I was a farmer, I would be on the dating app for farmers, right? Because that's the likelihood that the people on there are looking for farmers like me, right? And so what we found was there was no dating app for professional Black women. And we were Houseway, but there is a dating app for farmers, right? But there's no dating app for professional Black women. And so, there's a dating app for Jewish people, right? And and Jewish people use that app because
That's right.
that's something that's really important to them. And so it really is about finding your niche, finding your people, finding your tribe, the people who are looking for you, and investing your time there. And if you go back to our discussion about, investors are similar to matchmaking, the same thing with investors, right? You want to go to the investors that invest in your vertical. You want to go to the singles that are looking for you.
Yeah.
And so, but if there's no space that's creating a community of those types of singles, then you're kind of what we would say asked out, right? So we want to make sure that Black women know where to go, which is CarpeDM, and all the amazing singles who are looking to date us know where we are, right? And so we kind of have that beacon light up, like this is where it's happening, this is where it's at, come to us, and we will do our best to pair you with the most amazing Black women. And it takes a lot of the legwork out of it, right? When you're already entering into a space where the likelihood of the type of person you're gonna want to be with is gonna be there.
Yeah, and what a great point, right? You're not just taking this huge broad funnel and, throwing spaghetti at the wall. You guys are doing the work, right, to whittle it down. You understand Black women, you understand what we're looking for, you understand some of the nuances that we encounter when we date, and you control for that.
Yeah.
That's a huge help.
Yeah. And it's so much more than just this is where all the amazing Black women are, because at CarpeDM we do 100% background check. Everyone on our platform goes through a background check. We use video dating as the premier way in which our members interact with each other, because we think that chemistry is most likely to be gleaned absent from being in person and face to face through video, not through texting. And so there's so many more values. We are a community with community events. We have perks like access to amazing Black-owned businesses, their products, and what they're bringing to the table to our members. And so it's so much more than just a dating app or dating community, right? Like it really is a community of singles that are coming together for so many shared purposes and with so many things in common.
Love it. Okay, so if you guys are interested in any of said brand partnerships, we have a ton of brands that you can choose from on the CarpeDM website. You got to be a member, but one of the brands that you guys can come see about is ours. So if you're interested in natural hair care products, if you're interested in natural hair care tools, come visit the most via CarpeDM.
Yeah, just visit our website. And also what you really need to understand is that when we're throwing these events that are exclusive for our members, these are going to be opportunities for you to also be introduced to other amazing Black-owned businesses and other partners that we have in our network. So you don't know, you might be in an event and you might sit down next to Dawn if you're a lucky gentleman or a lucky woman, and you might chew her ear off a little bit about business. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it's possible. And so you definitely want to make sure that you're following our journeys and that we stay connected.